If I had to buy a Quartz watch, I would pick one of these 5 watches. Now, I know Quartz watches are quite divisive when it comes to the watch community. Some people hate them, some people love them. I am of the opinion that at least one slot in everybody's collection can be reserved for a good Quartz watch. There's something about just picking up a watch when you're in a rush and just knowing it's going to be on time. And so I've created a list of 5 watches. A very interesting list, in fact. One of them is a James Bond watch. The 4th watch in the list is one that I would actually genuinely think about getting and have been thinking about getting. And the 5th watch is ridiculously priced, but has one very cool party trick that I'm sure all of you will appreciate as well. But before I do get into it, if you're new around here, I'm Jag from Jag's Watches. I post 3 times a week. If you are into anything watch related, please do consider subscribing. And if you have already subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my 3 videos I post every single week. Now, let's get in to the 5 watches. By the way, in this list, we have watches of all different price points from $20 all the way up to tens of thousands of pounds. So hopefully there's a watch in this video that everyone can consider. So we're starting off with a Bond watch, the Seiko G757 Sports 100. It was the iconic watch worn by Roger Moore in Octopussy. It's got the 80s spy gadget vibes and legit Bond history, which you know I love. The digital layout is functional, sleek, and just a little bit mysterious. You've got a tracking feature in the movie, a world time complication, a stopwatch, and an alarm, all packed into a signature horseshoe display. It's insanely hard to find now. There are still some of them being sold online for thousands of pounds, but I found you an affordable alternative in the Casio AE1200WHD, aka the Casio Royale, maybe? Same layout and vibe for under $30. Great option if you want something a little bit something different from the usual Casio, the classic Casio. I don't know, I just thought it was quite a funky, cool watch. It's definitely a conversation starter. So moving on to the second watch, which I only recently was exposed to. It's the Timex 1975 Enigma reissue. Now I have to say something. I think that Timex are on a little bit of a roll. This one is for the design nerds. The Timex 1975 Enigma is a faithful reissue of the mystery dial from, you guessed it, 1975. The hands appear to float above the dial thanks to a clever painting on the crystal and dial. It's a weird, funky, and a totally unique piece. I love the case shape of this. I love the fact that you can get the black, a weirdly taupey blue color as well. It comes on a bracelet or a NATO strap. I prefer the NATO strap being a casual watch. But look, for around £200, it's a quirky conversation starter. I think it's a great looking watch. And you get the date complication thrown in as well. Timex have a couple of great watches, and I think this one is one that isn't talked about enough. So go check it out if you're interested in it. And as I said, £200, can't really go wrong. Now, moving on to the third watch, which is a pretty popular watch. It's the Cartier Santos-Dumont Quartz. I think this is the most elegant quartz watch on the list. I feel like this watch is a masterclass in design. It's thin, refined, and iconic. I think it's the first pilot watch ever made. Please do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. You've got the beautiful Roman numerals, the blue sword hands, which I absolutely love, and the cabochon crown, which is obviously timeless when it comes to Cartier. The quartz movement is also ultra reliable, and it gives you that slim 7.3mm case, which is perfect for dressier days when you don't need to or don't want to wind a watch. I feel like these watches are particularly versatile as well. You can dress them up, you can dress them down. They come in a variety of different colors at different price points. I love the gold variants of these watches. Expensive for a quartz watch, I agree, but it's Cartier and you're going to be paying a premium for Cartier. Although on the secondary market, there is, I think, a better value proposition to be had. So definitely worth looking at. Comes in different sizes, medium, small, large. But I do think that the quartz version of this watch is one to consider. And you've got the luxury, heritage, and class without the fuss of winding. Now moving on to the fourth watch, which I feel like is my favorite in the list, maybe. It's a watch that I am considering buying. I don't know when my wife lets me, I should say. It's the Grand Seiko SB GX355. It's the Heritage Quartz Snowflake Light. Now we know the most iconic watch in the Grand Seiko lineup could arguably be the Snowflake. But there's something about that watch. It fits me. It's not uncomfortable. But you know that my taste has slowly started to change, and I'm starting to sort of be pushed towards smaller watches. And this has a 37mm titanium case and bracelet with still that beautiful white snowflake dial, which I absolutely love. I've been talking about wanting to get a white dialed watch because I feel like it's something that I want to add to my collection. The gorgeous textured white dial and that legendary 9F quartz movement is really tempting. Now let me know in the comments, because I know some of you out there will be in uproar that I'm considering buying a Grand Seiko that isn't a spring drive. I feel like myself, I feel it's a little bit odd. But it's an affordable way to have a Snowflake, first and foremost. The proportions of this watch are better than, I feel, the spring drive version. I think that's around 41mm, a thicker watch, a chunkier watch. And it being a quartz watch, I just feel like it's the sort of watch I would want to just pick up and go, wear on a day-to-day basis, maybe to work. It's just a great option to have without having to compromise on quality, because the build of this is just as good as any other Grand Seiko. And we know the quality, the finishing is just second to none. I feel like the Grand Seiko's dials, their finishing when it comes to the case is up there with the best, if not the best. We're talking thermocompensated, hand assembled, 0 lag second quartz here. This isn't a basic battery tech. This is horology level accuracy, around I think 10 seconds plus or minus in a year. I think it's incredible craftsmanship and precision in a perfectly wearable 37mm package, which by the way is very close to my sweet spot, which I feel is around 38 to 39mm. I need to go and try this watch on. I may do a little vlog soon of me trying different watches on in London, so stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments if you would ever consider buying a quartz version of the Grand Seiko. I just feel like the proportions of the watch are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, this leads me on to probably the ultimate quartz flex watch on the market, in my opinion. Some of you might have guessed it. I might have put it in the thumbnail. Of course, I'm talking about the FP Journe Élégante 40mm. I love the aesthetic of this watch. I think FP Journe is a brand that just makes beautiful watches, works of art. The Élégante uses a proprietary electromechanical movement that goes into standby when it's not worn. And it automatically resets the time when you pick the watch back up and put it on your wrist, which I just think is so cool. I think it's such a cool feature to have in a quartz watch. It has an ultra thin titanium case. The lume is crazy. It's dead silent. And you get 8 to 10 years out of the battery from my own research. And 18 years in standby mode, which is kind of crazy. I feel like it's a weird watch. It's a genius watch. It's unlike anything else. It's unique. And if I had lottery money, this would be a no-brainer for me. This would be the watch I'd go out and get. This would fill the slot in my collection for the quartz watch. But I'm going to say that I'm happy with my moon swatches at the moment. They do fill the slot very well, and I'm grateful for them. But going back to that Snowflake light at 37mm, let me know if you're a fan of that watch and the light just suddenly went bright. Anyway, and suddenly just dimmed. Might need to take a look at that. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of any of these watches. I am a mechanical watch lover at heart, but I do appreciate a good quartz watch. These 5 quartz watches I particularly do like. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you may have not. But it's proof that quartz watches don't have to be boring. From the Bond watch to the Cartier to the cutting edge Journe. I think there's a quartz watch out there for everyone, and I feel like everyone should have one in their collection. Let me know which quartz would make your list. If I've missed one out, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments as well if you're a fully mechanical ride or die sort of guy. I get it, but I also don't get it. I feel like it's okay to have both. I am definitely leaning towards the mechanical, but I appreciate a good quartz watch, as I've mentioned. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. It really does help the channel a lot. And if you've made it to the end, you guys are the special ones. I really appreciate your guys' support. Please keep supporting the channel. Hit that bell icon if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already as well. Thanks for watching. I've been Jag from Jags Watches, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.